That were drinking in front of the house, and all the Canadian geese with their little fuzzy babies out there. So I think Sydney's here. I'm glad to see her. I haven't seen her in a while. Sydney, I'm going to say you're a good questioner. So if you want a box and you have questions or you have an opinion, you are welcome to join. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I wrote some things down. This is not what I normally do, so bear with me. I'm going to be looking down because I actually wrote stuff. Hey, country. I want to welcome everybody. It's the first time I have boxes. As I said, I'm going to do the best I can. This is not to be a slam session against any one person or any one group. We don't want to do that anymore. It's simply an opportunity where you can provide proof about what you think, which is the hot topic lately, what the mouse has covered and what the mouse hasn't covered. Let me just say that I started this page for a few reasons. One was that I felt that there were some people that were being targeted, and it seemed like they were being pushed out of the platform or pushed to be much smaller. And I believe that everybody deserves a chance, especially when somebody has taken responsibility, which it was my understanding that some of these people had, and that they apologized and they wanted to move forward. The second reason, I don't think I've made us clear, and that was that I felt guilty. I felt guilty. So most of you know, but if you don't, I was a nasty little page called Happy Camper. I made cartoons mostly about Maggie. There were a few other people, but they were mostly about Maggie. I would take a screenshot, feed it into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT would spit out a cartoon. But it did it because I asked it to. That page at best was unkind, and it was a bully page. And that's why that page is gone, and that's why I personally apologize to Maggie. If anybody has a problem that I apologize to Maggie, I would say that's a you problem, not a me problem. If you look back on the page, you'll see that there are a number of apologies. There were a number of mistakes. I had never been on TikTok before. So, hi, Karma. So, if I made a mistake, which I think I had with Karma in my judgment of her personality, then I tried to make it right. When I made those cartoons, I did not think of them as bullying, which is interesting to me from a self-perspective point of view, or, looking into myself, because I've always been the person that stood up for the people being bullied. My parents taught me that it's not just important that you don't say the words. If you stand by in silence, you're just as guilty. And so I am guilty of being a bully. So I think I have a unique perspective in that I've been a bully, and I've also been a T-page where people sent me information about other people the way that must be happening with the mouse. I deeply regret that page. Okay, so we know the mouse, or Casting Shade, has been a topic of discussion. They were invited, but I believe they're at Disney with their family today. And I know that a lot of people want to figure out who it is, just like they wanted to figure out who I am. And Little Miss Birdie is the one who put it all together, and kudos to her, because that was a good catch on my little pink Boston Terrier blanket. But really, it doesn't matter who anybody is. What it matters is what they're saying. If what they're saying is true, it's true. If what they're saying is fake, it's fake. And if you think something has been missed that they should have addressed, this will be the time that you can say it. Now, there's going to be two ways that you can say it. You can say it with proof. I have no idea how to big box you, so you can take a box, say your proof, and then later DM it to me, and I am not going to proof it. I am not going to do anything with it other than post it. There's going to be a post that says, this is what somebody was talking about in the live. Here it is. Look at it for yourself. If you state something that's an opinion without proof, you're welcome to do so. I would ask that you say that this is your opinion, right? Because that's the right thing to do. On bullying, again, I don't think anybody should be bullied. I don't think awareness creators should be bullying each other, awareness adjacent people included, and I don't think that the scammers and beggars should be bullied. And if you'll remember, I did a tragic live with All for One, where I was questioned by like 5, 6, 7 people. I did okay until the end. I was tired. I wanted to go to bed. Sydney's turn was up. If y'all know Sydney, you know she's a great interrogator, and I just wanted to hear the question and go to bed, and I lost my temper, and I apologized for that. My stance on not bullying even the beggars and scammers turned out to be a controversial one, and I never knew that could even possibly be true. That being said, I think everybody has the right to run their platform the way they want. If being snarky and making comments is what you like to do, then your people will follow you. If you just like to present the facts, then your people will follow you. And the same is true with the beggar and scammers. They have people who absolutely are very well aware of what they are, what they do, and they still give. And at that point, I think they've been made aware, and to keep harping on that is entering into a territory that I personally would not be comfortable with. I think awareness is needed. You need to protect people from giving money if it's a scam. But I think there are people on here, and I'm going to use the one that I bullied, Maggie, as an example. Her people absolutely know where that money is going, and they give it anyway. So I don't know what else to say about that, except they're aware and they give, and that's their right to give. Again, I am not tech savvy. We're going to do the best we can. And I will post any screenshots that somebody's trying to show that we can't get to. I want to thank my mods today. I want to thank Spicy, who's taken a lot of heat simply for having been my mod in the past. And if somebody has a problem with Spicy, they have a problem with me, because she's a very sweet lady, opinionated and sweet. We want to be respectful. Let's try to keep it focused. This is, again, not a session to bash anybody. If you have proof, present it. If you're an opinion, share it. And with that, I will open boxes. So y'all are going to have to help me actually do this. Somebody told me they could see a request button. I can't see it on my end, so I don't know what that means. Wait a minute, I'm getting a message. Somebody see where I've got 2 people and I can go live with guests and I see them. Okay. So if somebody will just say that they want to have a box, they are more than welcome to have a box. I will say this, I do think that everything that happened with Jeff and the other group has been rehashed ad nauseum the last few days. I heard him say himself, all for one, that he doesn't really want to engage anymore with the mouse. He just wants to move on with his life and his platform. So we're not going to do that again. I mean, respectfully, if Jeff or his mod Karma wants a box to speak on that, we're going to let that happen. But then I think we need to move it along, because I think that has just been played out. We all know what happened. Some of us saw it, some of us didn't. But if you want to see it, I believe Checkmate always posts her lives, so you can see it there. So with that, boxes are open. Thank you, Blue Eyes. Thank you, Not Today, folks. So if anybody just wants to request, let me know. If nobody wants to request, then so be it. That's all I had to say. Anybody want a box? Well, this is going to be a very short live. Drama does drive people to come view. I will admit that. You know, when people were trying to figure out who I was, there was a lot of drama. I created a lot of my own drama. I don't want to do that again. I don't have any beef with anyone. I'm gonna just, let's see. Let me see something here. Karma, I'm trying to find you. I can't find you. I see Amber Victoria's here. If she'd like a box, she's welcome to have one. If you have any questions of me, you can ask them. I may choose to answer. I may choose not. But if nobody has anything that they want to discuss, then we can conclude. I'm sorry to disappoint that this isn't going to be a drama-filled live. It was just a chance. And the mouse knows. I said, some people feel very strongly that some people are being covered and some people aren't. And this is a chance for people to either bring proof that other people should be covered and they're not, and we'll get that proof up, or to just say their opinion. That really at this point, I agree with you, Karma. I mean, those that want to work together should work together. Those that that choose to stay in their own camp, then that's for them to do too. I do think that, Diane, what don't you understand? I think that everybody does it a little different, and sometimes awareness can be boring. Sometimes it's repetitive. This is probably boring. As I said, I don't believe in the bullying, but I have come to learn that everybody defines bullying differently. A lot of people liked that Happy Camper page. There's a page called Casting Shade that's been doing a lot of videos on awareness creators, calling them out, if you will. And some people feel that they haven't called out everyone that should be called out. And so I told them, I'll hold a live on it, and they can, they're welcome to come. I have DM'd with the mouse, not a lot, but I've DM'd with the mouse. I think that probably Jenna, the reason that she promoted my live is that she knows I have a different opinion from her, but she also knows that I would like to see some changes within awareness as far as the bullying. So, I think that's why she promoted me. There's a few of her videos up on my page too. Would I do some of the things that she's done? No. Would I talk about some of the things that she has? No. If you look at my page, you'll see what I talked about and what I didn't. But I think that there are very few people, it's a very small group, that actually have dared to point out, of course, friendly observer, that that there are some things that they'd like to see changed. And so there may be like some camaraderie in that we both do it. I don't do it the way she does. She has cartoons, which, I'm going to be honest, some of them are kind of funny. It's a little mouse that's just giving people hell. But there's things that I'm not going to touch with a 10-foot pole and didn't. And I got a lot of that information and just chose not to do it. Everybody has their own opinion of what is postable and what isn't. I don't talk about people's marriages. I don't talk about people's children. I'm not going to post a picture of where somebody lives. Not that page has done that. I'm just saying that we all have a line. Some people never go real life. I know that there would be cases where I would, if I knew where someone was and they were hurting a child, if I knew where someone was and they were punching out an adult, if I knew where someone was and they were hurting an animal. Yes, absolutely. I would call the authorities and try to get them help. If I saw somebody having a medical event and I knew where they were. And when I say anybody, I'm talking about beggar, scammer, mortal enemy, whatever you want to call it. If I see somebody that I don't even like and they were having a medical emergency, I am not going to let that person drop dead because somebody was afraid to pick up the phone. I'm just not going to do that. That is my line. Some people never cross that line. I have seen people actually type when there was an incident with an infant that they would never interfere. That's for somebody else to do. That is their line. There are other people that go way beyond that. I would not do that. So I see some of you agreeing with that. I am a big animal lover, a huge animal lover. So, if I ever saw anybody doing something to an animal, first I'm going to offer them help. I have helped somebody on here. In fact, I know I'm going to get beat up for this, but I sent them money, and they have not been nice to me since. So would I still help somebody? If I could, I probably would. I don't like to see animals suffer. I'm glad to see that, there are resources that will help people if, they have animals. But unfortunately, animals can get very expensive very quick. And with the economy, and this isn't getting political, but people have less discretionary money. If you have to choose between taking your animal to the vet or feeding your children, I think we know where that's going to end up. So, I would try to help. I have a lot of respect for the people in the rescue community. I was in it myself for many, many years. I am still now, but not nearly as active as I was. So, if nobody wants a box, if somebody wants to type a question, that's fine too. Jenna, I appreciate your question. I want to say at this point in my life, I'm looking for peace and serenity, and I have no ill will towards anyone. I am not going to be stirring shit with anyone. So if that's what people thought this was about, it for sure isn't. My other passionate thing that I'm very passionate about is people who have substance abuse problems, and I would like there to be more resources for those people. I have a post on my page about my brother who I lost to drugs. It's so ridiculous. And I think there are probably some people on every side of the fence that can get tangled up with things that they would need help with. And I would like to see more outreach to those people to try to help them. But having had a brother who was into it, I'm going to tell you, you cannot bully somebody to get help. You cannot expose somebody to get help. You cannot love somebody until they get help. When they are ready, and they may never be ready, they will do it. My brother was actually drug-free, but the damage he had done to his system was too much, and he had a heart attack, which is very sad because he was not on anything when it happened. He was a brilliant person. He's always had a great career, making lots of money, but the damage that he did, his body just couldn't sustain it. So there's a couple people on here I know that do reach out to those that have those issues. Sunshine and Smiles is one of them, and I think he's been very honest about what has happened in his life. At one time, I was going to hold a live and try to ask some people who knew about this, who worked with that population, to come. Maybe at some time in the future we can do that, or maybe somebody who's in that arena can do it. It's really sad, Does anybody else have any questions? Oh.
Hey.
Hey, Autumn.
Hey, how are you?
I don't even know how you got up there, but welcome.
Oh, I sent a request and it let me up.
Oh, the mods must be doing that for me. Hi, Karma. Thank God, because I am technologically illiterate.
I 100%. I would love to do something like that. What you were talking about the addiction, because I struggled with it, for 8 years, or I've been clean for 8 years, and I've actually been talking to my doctor, / counselor, and she has told me if I could set up a good time and date, that she would be 100% join my live, and she can answer a lot of questions, and I just got to figure out.
I will be there, and I will promote it. It's not what I know about. My brother and I were polar opposites. I'm lucky if I can take a Tylenol. I mean, I'm so sensitive, but I think that would be awesome. And anyone here, is it all right, Otto, if others want to reach out to you to work on that together?
Absolutely. I just, lately I've been working 7 days a week. And so I've got to, it's hard for me right now to make any plans.
Sure.
So hopefully once things slow down, I will build to more, but I definitely want to do it because there's a lot of times when I'm live and I talk about it and people have a lot of questions. And when it comes to the doctor terms and stuff, I can give him my opinion and how stuff work for me, but I can't give the, like a doctor could or somebody that's in that field.
Right. And, it knows no socioeconomic bounds. I mean, I know that some of the people that, that are covered as the scammer and beggars, they have issues, but there are doctors and lawyers and engineers. This issue isn't just for the unhoused or the scammer beggar. It crosses many, many lines. And like I said, when you're ready to do it, let me know. I'll do anything I can to help you with it.
I appreciate that. And I guess, I like what you were saying earlier. I don't remember the exact words, but one of the biggest things, I'm just fed up with awareness I'm trying to be careful what I say because I'm just sick of a certain group, and I'll say names, and it's nothing personal against them. Like I don't have personal issues with them. It's a certain group like Checkmate and them. They feel like they can tell other groups how they should or what they should be doing, and if they don't like it, they don't like you. They're gonna hold you alive about it and bash it. I feel like it defeats the purpose. Like the last live they had bashing an awareness creator, I seen active beggars and scammers in their live laughing about it. Some beggars and scammers mods went back to the scammers live and was laughing about it, and I feel like it defeats the whole purpose. I feel like the beggars and scammers will be like, see, they can't even get along with each other. And why should
that happen? I don't doubt some of that happened, and I don't think it's probably a big secret that I view things very differently than them. That's how you view it. I didn't want to call them out because I've been accused of being very biased against them. I do think they do good awareness. I think they get their facts. I think they make a passionate plea. Do I think everybody can improve? Me included. Me not the least of which. Yes. But
I got a long history with them though, and it stems back to if people know Florida Man. They actively, and I've got proof of this. I've got videos of it and proof, and one day I will sit down and show it, and then I'm gonna be done with it. They actively let him up in a box several times and bluntly made up lies about saying my mom stole food stamps, and one even said, "Oh yeah, I know all about that." It was 100% all lies, and they stand on we need proof, we need evidence, but they let this man go up there and just lie after lie after lie. And this man actively put out a list wanting kids' information, grandkids' information, families' information. Actively, yeah, we got beggars and scammers on here lying and begging to get money, but this man was actively in real life out stealing, and he's currently locked up for it. And I did reach out to Checkmate and because she's a mother, I felt she would understand, and had a heart-to-heart conversation with her. I thought it was. We talked on the phone. I don't have proof of this because I don't record phone calls. Okay, I'm not like that. And I thought she understood, but it turned around, I don't know, a week, 2 weeks later, and proved me 100% wrong, letting them back up in the live and spewing more lies and stuff. And she'll say, "Oh, I didn't know nothing about all that," and that's all a lie. It's all a lie because she was told by several people.
I will say this, when it's something that's directed at you personally, it's very hard to let it go, especially if the person hasn't said they're sorry for it. But I think that, can I ask how long ago that was? Were they new then? Like when I was new and didn't know what I was doing and made mistake after mistake after mistake?
No, they weren't new. They've been around for a while.
And I know it's hard to let something like that go. So, I think I lost karma, but I know it's hard to let it go. And, the mouse does say, because I have DM'd with the mouse, and I think they've made it very clear that they have heard that people say that group makes rules for others, but they have not seen a screenshot or a live that shows it. So if that
they don't come out and say these are the rules and stuff. It's the way they hold themselves and act, and the certain people that they call out. In my opinion, if they feel like a certain platform is doing wrong, they're going to call them out. But they won't call they'll call. Okay, I want to say this. I'm going to make it clear. I absolutely adore the Penny Fairy, so I'm not saying one single thing bad about him. I think he runs a great platform. I've known him for years. I think he's a great guy. But anybody else that does awareness and has gifts on and does animated videos and that puts the beggar scammer looking, not looking in a good light, they're against that. But it's okay for him. That's just one of the things. And I don't care. Like I said, I have no issues with him having his gifs on or his cartoons. I think they're hilarious. I like his content. I shared it.
I think it is much harder to call out people that you like, right? I mean, I've had that too, where people have sent me information back when I was taking information to post, and it was somebody that I happen to personally like. So I get that that's hard, but I do also get that you may be seeing that there's a double standard where if they maybe don't like the person, then it gets called out, but if it's within the own group, it doesn't. You know, I can see some of that. I think probably a lot of people wrestle with that, but you know, I don't know. I appreciate your point of view. I think others probably have a similar point of view. I don't think that you bashed. I think you just said your perspective, and I think that, you know, people are entitled to do that. I tell you, if one of them showed up right now and wanted a box, they could have a box. You know, I think we all maybe need to do better, and I include myself in the all. And you know, I don't really watch the Penny Fairy, so I can't speak on the Penny Fairy. I take care of my almost 90-year-old mother, so I don't have a lot of time. And when I have free time, I like to spend it like this, you know, looking out at the water. You know, I do think that groups need to self-monitor themselves probably a little more than they have been. Because all it takes is one person that you're considered associated with to say something nasty, and then it kind of taints everybody. So it would be better to just, you know, correct the narrative and say something either front side or back side. If you correct everybody else front side, I'm for front side. If you handle things on the back side, then I see no reason to put it on the front side.
Right. Like I've heard, and I have videos of it, but Checkmate has been totally against speaking up against people that stream beggars. But it's okay for the Penny Fairy to do it. And like I said, I want to make this clear because I don't want people twisting it. I think the Penny Fairy is amazing. I like his platform. I watch it a lot. I've supported it for a long time. I have no issue with what he does. I'm just showing the double standards.
Right. And
what I'm trying to say.
I'm going to say something that probably nobody ever thought I would say. I think Checkmate might be in a really hard spot. And when I say Checkmate, I mean Fallon and Tired of the Nonsense, all of them. And that, you know, she was probably getting messages, why aren't you calling out the bullying? And then, you know, so she calls out the bullying, and then it's like, why are you going against your own? So from that perspective, I'm just going to say that I could see both sides of the issue. If anybody did it, you know, Otto, if you did it, if you called out something that was bullying, you know, then it would be like, how dare you speak against somebody in awareness? We're all supposed to work together. And if you don't call it out, how dare you don't call it out? How are they supposed to know that they need to change? It's not an easy question, really.
Right.
You know, and I do thank you for taking a box and for speaking. And as I said, when you're ready to do that, please let me know. I'd like to help in any way I can. And I do think that it is hard to forgive if you've never been given the I'm sorry.
Right.
And, you know, I am sorry that something was said about your family that wasn't true, because I don't know of anything that would probably tick me off more than somebody saying something about my family that wasn't true, especially my mom. So
yeah, it was all 100% lies. But yeah, I appreciate it. I'm gonna hop down, but thank you very much. And
thank you.
I wish I was sitting where you are. That looks absolutely beautiful.
It is, well, it is really pretty. It's very hot here today. I was gonna try to go out and maybe fish, but it's just too muggy here. And does anybody else want to talk, or are we done? Let's see. I just want something. I heard it all day.
That's my mom. My mom's the pajama mama.
Okay. Hello, pajama mama. Hi, mama. Karma says, give her a minute. She has people cleaning her AC vents. Yes, that's very, very important to have clean air. There was a shift that happened about 2 or 3 years ago that all these rules popped up on how to bring awareness. I was not here 2 or 3 years ago. I think I have heard from a few people that they wish it was the way it was back then when there were fewer people doing it, because those few people could get together and sort of agree. And now there are different people that do it different ways, and not everybody appreciates some of the differences. So,
the mouth is right. Like, a lot of us have been around for a long, long, long time. So we've seen it, we've seen it all. I mean, I have to agree with what she said. We've seen this. We've seen it all take place in real time.
And when I was talking about Jeff, as I said, Jeff himself has said that he doesn't want to keep acknowledging casting shade. He wants to move past it. I think it's going to go tit for tat until it finally just dies out. Because having been somebody that posts the tea, it just gets old. It's a negative headspace. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that I regret that I did it because it was a learning experience, but it really isn't enjoyable. It's not enjoyable. I mean, it's just like, you're criticized if you don't post this, you're criticized if you do post that. It's not a space that's good to be in. It kind of gets like the beggars. If all you do all day is watch that, God, that has to be depressing as hell.
My opinion, this is something that I've learned from watching over the years. I've seen really good people that do awareness creators. So they do an amazing, absolute amazing job. And then they eventually, a little bit here and there, slowly but surely, start getting involved in the drama. And that's when it starts going downhill from there. And that's just my observation and my opinions.
And everybody's entitled to their own opinion. And I think people forget that, And, would I have, if I had been friendly with somebody for years and I saw that they did what All for One had done, I don't think I would have done it front side. I think I probably would have messaged them and said, what the hell? But, that's how I would have handled it. They chose to handle it differently. And that is going to seem to be a big divide within the awareness community that somehow somebody's got to heal. Because I can see it. I mean, if you've watched the last few days, you see it too, where they're siding one way or the other. And, splits happen all the time, but and I don't know what else the mouse is saying it has, but the mouse seems to indicate there's more to come, and it would not surprise me if there's more to come. So.
Yeah, I agree. But all right, you have a wonderful day. I'm gonna drop down.
Okay. I'm gonna stay on.
Sorry about that.
I hear you, but I don't see you. Oh, there you are. Hello.
Sorry about that. They were supposed to be here at like 12 o'clock, and they just showed up. I had to let them up in the attic to clean the central air vent or vents, whatever you want to call them.
Renovations now, and my home renovation was supposed to be done a month ago. So, and it's still not.
I made the appointment because it's like a summer community here. I mean, I'm here all year round, but there's people that come here, for weekends or whatever at the summer. And everybody's trying, it's like when you get your pool opened, everybody's trying to rush and do it at the same time. But I had booked this a while ago. So they were supposed to be here like 11:30, 12 o'clock today to clean, to, do the filter or the filters, the duct work, clean the ducts for the central air. And they decided to show up like 2.5 hours late.
Welcome in, everyone.
Yeah, that's why I had to drop real quick, because I got the Ring camera notification. I had to let them in and show them how to get up and what they had to do. So sorry about that. I wasn't trying to be rude.
Has a different opinion. Ashley says, but creators call out scammers no different than when Checkmate did. So that is certainly, that is a valid opinion. I said it's not something that I would have done if I'd been friends with somebody for years. But Karma, if you want to speak on that, because we're only going to have one speaker on Jeff.
He said he doesn't want to deal with it anymore, and I'm going to respect that. I'm just going to say that at the end of the day, we're all here for the common purpose. And that's, you look at the economy today, look at the price of gas. Next time you go to the grocery store, look at the price of food. Not that nobody's like the million upon millionaires that we have a whole bunch of extra money in our pocket every month. But you know what? When it comes down to like an elderly person that might have that extra $5 or $10 in their pocket, and they want to they think someone like Jordan Paul really needs it for something good, when in reality we know it's not. We need to speak up, do it respectfully, and try to keep these people from spending the money that they could be using for medication or food and not feeding someone's habit. I think we've all lost kind of what the true purpose of this is to, these people, a lot of them aren't going to listen. And all you can say is, listen, don't give so-and-so money. They're in active addiction, or don't give them so-and-so money because they do this every day, like Chef Carl, or don't do this. That's all you can do. And the only thing you can really say is DM them privately and be nice and polite about it and say, listen, and I've received a couple of them. Please don't give this person money. They're an active addiction, or they've been doing this for 5 or 6 years and they're doing nothing to help themselves. You know, we all need to be working together. And all this is doing is creating a bigger divide. And at the end of the day, you don't think the beggars are laughing at us that we can't keep our shit together? Because that's what it is. They're all laughing at us. And we're supposed to be setting an example.
Probably true. And like I said, everybody was welcome to speak here, whether they're, you know, a beggar, a scammer. God, I even hate to say that. I'm sorry.
Well, no, but I mean, I think you get what I'm saying.
It's like labeling somebody. It's just.
I've told you many a times.
You know, and
but I've told you. But I've said many a times, if Jordan were to reach out to me privately, and I doubt she would because she's blocked me, and she said, listen, I know you have, resources at your disposal. I really want to get help. Can you help me? I would be the first person to help her. It's not that I don't hate them. I dislike what they do. And I think that's where the people think that we hate the scammers. I can speak for myself. I don't hate them. I dislike what they do. I dislike the lying, the deception. And that's where I'm at. You and I had our disagreement. I thought we hashed it out well, and we get along. I mean, that goes to show that it's possible. We're proof of that.
I will say that, and probably I'm more sensitive to this because this was the person I bullied. As far as Maggie, as far as I know, her people all know what she does with the money. She says she's going to a concert. She says she wants VIP. She tells you she's going to get a seafood boil.
But that's what makes Maggie different, is she's saying, I need X amount of money for my event. She's not saying I need food. Meanwhile, she's got a whole fridge full. She's not lying about it. Is it still wrong? Yes, because she is defrauding the government. It is wrong, but she's not lying to the people on what she needs the money for. But why should Maggie live better than everybody else who's on a fixed income while breaking the law, essentially?
I know that people have said that she's defrauding the government, but yet I've seen no, and I know I'm going to get slammed for this. Oh, you're sticking up for Maggie. I've seen no proof that she's defrauding the government. I haven't seen Maggie's tax return. I don't know what she tells the HUD people. I don't know what she tells the EBT people. So I
can tell you that anything she makes, whether it's gift or it's Cash App, Venmo, or whatever, it's considered income. And that needs to be reported to the Department of Social Services. And I will tell you that they do have access to all those records. So even if she doesn't file a tax, they're able to still look it up. Now, if people aren't smart enough and they choose to give Maggie their own personal Cash App, well, guess what? Now they become an accomplice to food stamp fraud, government assistance fraud, and whatever.
Okay, Digital asked how she has said she isn't reporting. I didn't know that she has said that she isn't reporting, or maybe I did and it just didn't click. But I don't know that. Well, now Not Easily Broken is here, and I'm going to tell y'all, don't dogpile on somebody because they came. She is participating, and she said she has people that do her paperwork. So does that maybe mean that Maggie doesn't know what she reports and what she doesn't report?
Well, again, you have to look. I mean, yes, you can use Google, but there are guidelines. When you get SSI, for every $2 that you make, Social Security takes $1. That's how it works. Oh. So if Maggie makes $500, they take $250, and they take that $250 out of your check that you would receive every month. Now, that could affect her housing. That could affect how much she receives in food stamps. But we can go a step further and say, okay, she went to Toys for Tots with a doll to steal toys from children. I mean, that's where that crosses a line too.
But y'all not understanding Maggie's disability. Maggie loves to have toys. That's part of her disability that y'all not understanding. And no, she don't. Maggie waits at the end of the line and asks them, and they always say, if we have toys left over, then you can have some.
And so hey, I have no, honestly, you and I have never spoke.
Well,
you and I have never spoken. Hey, if that's true, I don't have an issue with that. I mean, like I said before, at least Maggie comes on and she says, listen, I want or I want X amount of money because I want to go to an event. At least she's not lying about what she needs it for.
No, she
But at
does
what?
not.
Well, that's what I'm
I
saying.
have all the proof.
But
Maggie
that's what I'm
tells
saying.
us in
There's
text
people,
messages what she's begging for.
but that's what I'm saying. There's people, I mean, beggars that say they need it for a hotel room and they really need it for something else. I did give Maggie credit there that at least she tells you what she wants it for. But at what point do you say, you know what, enough is enough now?
Okay, let me
I mean,
ask
like,
this.
but I mean, think about it. And I don't know if you were in the live. There's got to come a point where she's going to the bathroom for 30 minutes on the live. She's humiliating herself.
But you not
You know?
understanding. We can talk to Maggie till she blue in the face. Maggie do what she want to do. Maggie is her mind. It's her mind, and y'all not understanding the disability. I deal with people that have mental disability. I work with people that have disability. I just don't pass meds. I have 2 jobs. So I go to a group home with people that's just like Maggie. It's their mind. It's their mind.
But see, that's
you
where
can't
someone
hold
like
her
you could come in
accountable.
and explain to her why it's what she's doing is wrong.
I have over and over. You don't think that other people on the back end then came in and told Maggie this?
Well, then, but think about it too. How many times has she used her platform to let other people beg for their utility bills on her platform? You know, Maggie gets used by other people, though.
She has a good heart.
Yeah, but you know, there's people that use Maggie for her platform too, though. There's people that use her too, and that's wrong.
The people that she have let up, they show us proof. The last girl, Toya, she showed us proof of.
Oh yeah, but you don't think that Yazzy's using
Now,
Maggie for her platform?
We don't know. I don't know. Them two got a relationship.
It's a weird thing, right? I know.
Daughter.
And Kate
Right.
too, though.
So
But they use each other.
But see, Kate, you know, I don't know. Some people already seen it that I stood up for Maggie on Cakes, and I called Cake out about that. And Cake is no longer coming in Maggie's live. She's blocked because I've been telling Maggie for the longest, and other people have too. Been telling her for the longest that Cake has been talking about her on her platform. Even though we told Maggie this, she still said, well, I'm going to stick up for beggars. But when Maggie actually heard it for herself, she has no more dealings with Kate.
I think too, the way Maggie comes off doesn't help her either. When she says send in and she calls people names, that's not really nice either.
No, it's not.
You know what I'm saying? And like you and I have never talked, and I got nothing against you.
I don't uphold Maggie. I don't uphold Maggie. A lot of people can tell you that I have said it's not right. Don't do this. Don't say that. Just the other day when she wouldn't send the gift back, I checked Maggie for that. I did.
Yeah,
I told her.
And you told her to get on the bus instead of getting an Uber too.
Right. And I told her if she does not return it back, take me off as mod. So y'all can't sit and say that I don't hold Maggie.
Well, you could do that yourself.
I'm not that type of person. What's right is right, is wrong is wrong.
Somebody from the other side.
Well, see, you could do that yourself too. You can demod yourself, but you have to understand you're going to have people coming at you because by sitting with her, you're almost co-signing her behavior. So you have to look at it from that perspective too, though, right?
Well, y'all, see, I didn't even know y'all. I didn't even know All For One, and he was coming for me. I never knew that man from a can of paint. Y'all came coming for me. You do too. You say you got certificates of my.
I know. I don't have nothing.
You see I got the screenshot where you said it. That you was talking to somebody else that you seen my certificate. I'm like, how you see?
I probably have seen it. I don't go looking for stuff. No, I've seen it.
You can't see it when it's at home on my shelf unless you'd have been in my house.
I saw a picture of it. That's all. It was sent to me. That was all. But the thing is
the fact of the matter is I can hear just from this discussion, Not Easily Broken is personal friends with Maggie, and she's not going to change that. It's very rare that somebody's willing to take a box quote from the other side. And she is trying to give you a little bit of glimpse into the fact that Maggie.
And I commend her for that. I got to give her credit because a lot of people wouldn't.
Would not.
I'm just saying you have to understand.
Maggie might be intellectually disabled.
I'm sure she is. There's no doubt.
Maggie says it all the time herself, and if people will actually listen, Maggie, and y'all make fun of her using a calculator. She's 42 years old and can't subtract a one.
No, I
You
don't.
know what
I
I'm
don't make
saying?
fun of people like that.
Maggie has a disability. Maggie also have health issues. She have or what you call them, and she had a little bit of autism too as well. So they all attack her, and just like what's her name? Shoot, Cake or whatever. Well, I think me and her was going back and forth in Dr. Dre's live, and she was like, "Oh, she can't even subtract." And I'm like, "Okay, so now you making fun of her disability? Like, what was you to say that?"
Yeah, well, I mean, that cake is her own situation.
She haven't went to school. She haven't had no school.
Not Easily Broken said that she doesn't fill out her own paperwork. That
No, she has people that fill out her own. She has to get help with all of that stuff. So that's what I'm saying. Where's y'all proof? Because Maggie on the back end, they can I don't pay taxes, I don't do this. But Maggie has people that does that for her.
Digital, do you?
I think my biggest question would be how is she able to function and live on her own without a caretaker and still do what she does and think it's okay?
Maggie does have an aide. What it is, her aide don't like being on live. So Maggie's aides do come.
Okay.
But she's not on live. Maggie's aides show up, but she don't like being on live because of all the bullying and stuff that Maggie goes through. She has an aide.
Broken. People have repeatedly asked this, and if you wish to address it, you can. And if not, of course,
about
they want to know why you were gifting, I guess, Jordan Paul. They say you gifted Jordan Paul.
The thing about that is, I mean, y'all can. I don't know if the girl got proof. Y'all got proof of her doing whatever. I have a big kind heart, so if you gonna tell me you need money for a room or something like that. I'm gonna give it to her. The way that I saw her and the way that she looks not like a ruggy. So I helped the girl out. And then I get floods and floods and floods of messages, and I'm like, okay, well, show me some proof. Where's the proof? She told me it's for a room. Once that money leaves my account and goes into her account, I have nothing else to do with it. She can do with it whatever she wants to.
Okay,
you say there's proof, but I don't know that she follows her. I mean, and I do agree to some respect. I haven't seen any proof either. I mean, can recognize.
I need hardcore proof. Only thing I've seen was a clip of, I guess, her ex-girlfriend, but she was talking about something from 9 years ago. You talking about something from 9 years ago that she was on drugs, okay? But we are in 2026, so I don't know about that. But still, I have not seen no concrete evidence of it.
All right. So from a person in the medical field to another. I mean, just think about this, and you don't have to answer right away. Maybe you need time to think. But say you give Jordan money again, right? And that last money that you give her is the end all be all. How would that make you feel?
How would it make me feel?
It'd make you feel horrible, right? Because I know it would me. I mean, contrary to what people think, I do have a heart, and it would make me feel horrible.
Look at what I had just said.
But if you know, but say hypothetically you know though, but now you see proof and you know, and now you're thinking, okay, I gave her money.
I still haven't seen no proof. I still haven't seen the proof.
I mean, there's pictures you can go back where you can see the stuff in her nose. I mean, it's not,
Some people have white stuff in their nose. Are y'all saying that it might be dried up snot? It could be anything.
Not when it's powder. I mean, it's, you can see in the medical field, you can tell the difference between dilated and constricted blood vessels, right? In your eye,
willing to answer questions, which is highly unusual. Digital or Amber or some of these other people, Harley Rider Girl or Animal Lover, because not very often does somebody come in to what they might consider enemy territory and be willing to answer some questions. So
I totally give her respect, and I'll say it again. I mean, we can even turn to Becky.
I really want to see Kate, the one that said that I doxed her when I didn't dox her. I did not dox her by saying her name.
The woman
Another
with the large
person in
leg?
awareness, another person, several people in awareness know her name as well. But the thing of it is,
Oh.
y'all said dox, but the awareness dox me. All for one dox me. And Karma, I have a screenshot of you when I just came in Dr. Dre's
Well,
live.
you said
when
your
you
own
said my
first name. Yeah, but you said
Fiddle,
your own
and all
first
that.
name. You said your own first name on the live.
No,
So
that
you-
was after that was found out. No, after it was found out. And I said, yes, that is my name. My name is Cynthia. And I explained what the meaning behind it was. And I said I was named after my godmother. But I got the video of him saying my name. And him saying that somebody got to go find out where I work at. What is that going
Well, that's a line that I don't cross.
to do?
I mean,
That
there's
right
only
there is
there's only a few
harassment.
there's only a few times that I
And
will
you
go
just
real
said
life.
yourself, you coming, but you would say in that Dr. Dre live, you coming for me, Karma and all that, and I'm like, what for? What? I don't even know you. Like y'all.
Well,
come
I don't-
for
that
me,
comment
and I have
wasn't
not said
directed
that
to
one
you.
word to y'all.
If you remember in the chat, the girl that you sit with, she was the one well, go ahead and try it with me. But your friend that you sit with was the one that said she was going to dox every single person in that live too. Not you, but the person that you sat with,
I don't know who you're talking about.
the Arkansas one.
I don't know who you're talking about. Oh, I didn't see that
Yeah,
comment.
I actually have it. I have the screenshot. I can send it to you. Because she said basically word for word is she was going to dox everybody, and I don't give an F is what she said.
Well, wasn't something going on with somebody did something with her kid, her child?
I don't know. It has nothing to do with me. I have no clue.
I'm just.
I don't get involved with kids. I don't get involved in relationships. I want people to work. I don't screw with people's jobs. The only time I get involved is if there's someone hurt, if there's a child hurt, or there's an animal that needs emergency help. Otherwise, I honestly could care less. I want people to work.
What am I
don't
playing
do
about?
that.
I didn't see it. Look, I don't have no reason to lie to y'all people. That's one thing I'm not going to do.
Very
I haven't
respectful.
seen
If
it.
somebody tries to turn this around and say that I'm an enabler and I think that begging is okay, let me unequivocally say that I think that there's better ways to make money that are more honest. But I do think that Maggie is different in that she does tell you what the money is going to go for. Now, some of you have brought up other issues. Not Easily Broken has tried to answer those issues. I'm not going to disrespect
Maggie
her,
is
nor
not-
am I going to allow anybody else to disrespect her. And Karma has been very respectful with her. I've asked other people if they want to come up and ask their questions, and I don't see that they have. Maybe they're in queue. I can't see a lot on my end. But
She's never done anything to me. I have no problem with her. As a matter of fact, I commend her for even coming in the box.
Right, and Maggie's not able to work. They always say get a job. Y'all see how Maggie sit up there and holler about her knees. Maggie needs knee surgery, but Maggie would not lose the weight to get the knee surgery. So it's like
But see,
bone
there
on
goes
bone.
with the enabling again. And when she's begging for $60, $70 for seafood boils every day, that's not helping
and,
her.
and that's why we try
know what
to
I'm
tell her
saying?
to eat healthy. And you seen in live not too long ago, she's trying to get healthy
if
food.
somebody is bothering
But you can
somebody with
tell-
unwanted messages on, stop doing that.
You
People
can
have a right to
tell
have their
her-
opinion in this live.
But
Yeah,
see, like
you can
as one of her
help me.
mods, like if she comes out and says, "Listen, I want this for a seafood boil," if she knows she's got to eat healthy, maybe you got to speak up and say, "Maggie, listen, we got to," and try to stop the money for that, because if she genuinely needs that surgery, that seafood boil is not going to help her.
Hi, Karma.
You know what I'm
Hi,
saying?
Natalie
What's
Broken.
not healthy about a seafood boil, though?
Can I interject for 1 second? I just want to say hi. I am Darla. I do sit with Dre. I know you've seen me. I want to say, I have respect for you after listening to you the other day, literally put Maggie in her place about whatever it was. It was getting in a cab or a lift or whatever the situation was. But you told her, get off your butt and do what you got to do, And I respect that. I absolutely do. And it's not that a seafood boil is unhealthy, but you can't say, and I mean this all due respect to anyone. It's none of my business what she eats or how she eats. The fact that she gets online and begs and insists for money all day for food when she has, I'm not saying she has or does. I don't live her life. I don't know what's in her refrigerator, but it's a lot of takeout, a lot of DoorDash, a lot of nonsense. Again, her business, but then you need surgery. You just said yourself, I didn't even know she needed surgery. You need surgery. You need to lose weight. Listen, I need a surgery. I need to lose weight from the last surgery I had. All things considered, right? I gained 20 pounds. I need to lose the 20 because I don't want to have the surgery that way. But, we try to come at it from a respectful point, but then it gets all twisted up somewhere. I know I don't dox. And this is what I'll say. You, Arkansas, none of you have ever come for me. And I think that's because I don't come for anyone, and I don't mean that for any other reason other than not everybody.
Anything about you because you don't.
And you don't. Like, you never have. You probably are like, who's this girl? Other than I sit on the panel.
I can defend myself and. I don't know. Maybe you did say something one time, and I was like, "Just leave me alone. I don't even know you."
No, you've never bought. Well, a lot of times, to be honest, I'm not always in those lives. Truth be told, Karma can tell you that. Sometimes I just leave, but
well, we both do sometimes. I mean, sometimes things get too much, and we just leave.
I don't want to hurt anyone, and we want, like, honestly, I commend Maggie on the fact we always say it on our channel because a lot of times I hear all the negative stuff and I get it. You're defending her. I understand it, but you also don't always hear everything we say where we're saying, Maggie isn't on drugs, right? She just is begging for money. We commend her that she's actually honest with what she's doing with her money. It's the way she goes about it that's just a little off-putting. Well, a lot off-putting sometimes, but so that's why she gets covered. And we're not the only people that cover her. And I hate that she gets covered. I would love to see her be able to use more resources. I don't know what they are because I haven't looked into them for her.
And I'd be more than happy to even look into them and provide them to easily broken and she can give them to her.
We would love to help get her to a point where she doesn't have to go online. Because would you want your child, I'm just saying this, would you want your own child acting like that online for money? I wouldn't.
But see, I don't think that you was here for the part with how her mental state is.
Right. But
I mean, like there's programs that they have day programs that she can, do activities. They go on day trips to the casino.
And she did. And see, that's where I say y'all not in there for all her lives, just like we not in there for all y'all lives. She did have a lady that was picking her up, and she had the little individuals, other little friends too, and they was going on daily trips and stuff like that. And she was begging for the money for that for lunch too as well. That lady, they fired her. So they have to find Maggie somebody else that's able to get her into these activities. So
is it kind of like a buddy system, kind of like for adults with disabilities, maybe? Kind of is that
right? And they do different things, or whatever. That's what I say is, and let's get back to the shot. I mean, to the weight loss. Maggie has tried twice. They give her the weight loss shot. It makes her sick. It makes her
it's tough in the beginning.
Some people it does.
It makes it harder for her to lose the weight. And
it's tough in the beginning.
Going back to the autism, when they eat, because I have a great nephew that's sitting right beside me. He will eat all day. They don't know. They feel like they need to eat.
Yeah, but by her getting a walker and like that has a seat because she wants to sit down, her muscles are going to atrophy. She needs to be more active.
Well, I mean, she's pretty active when she goes to her events, though, right?
She is really active, but she needs a seat because she's walking on bone, and so it is hard. She's at a bingo thing right now. Just by her sitting in the chair, she was complaining that her knee hurt.
And I understand that. Does she have is she in what's the word I want to look for? Eligible for like medical transport and stuff to it? Because this way she wouldn't have to pay for so many Lyfts and Ubers. Does she have that ability or?
She does use that when she have certain doctors visits and stuff. She uses that. She gets on the bus. I mean, that's y'all don't be in there. She be on the bus and the bus be playing music and everything.
That's why I'm asking. I don't know everything.
But sometimes she have to beg for the lift because her age, just like now, she went to a sleep study. her aide was supposed to take her. Something came up, so she had to have a way to get there.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, I know more of it because I talk to Maggie every day. So
Yeah.
I just think the way she goes about it, and she goes, "Send in now, snail." I mean, it comes off rude. I mean, I understand the disability part. I totally get that. I get it. But when you hear that and you don't realize that she's got a disability, that comes off really rude. You know what I mean?
Digital,
It
did you want
does.
to pop in? Digital's
Hey,
in a
Digital.
not easily broken. Digital, I don't know if you know about Digital, but she's well respected in the awareness community. And
He knows about me.
okay,
We all know about Digital. Come on now.
I'm not trying to
Hey,
insult
Digital.
anybody.
I
I'm
don't
really
think I
not.
came across you and said anything to you. I don't know. You probably know more about me.
because you created a post where it was
Maggie
me,
is-
All
yeah.
for One, Dr. Dre, and somebody else, and you gave us all Fs.
Oh yeah. I don't know what that was about. I don't know.
I remember that.
Was y'all saying something?
That's
Y'all
the
might have
thing.
been
I
saying
haven't
something
talked about Maggie.
Right.
In
I know
months.
that. That's what I'm like. I don't know. I don't know why I did.
I don't understand why, but I was first on the list. And what I chose to do was to take every F and talk about positive things like I'm fantastic, I'm fortunate, I'm fabulous, because I haven't even talked about her. She comes in my lives many mornings and I'll be like, Maggie, you're not on the grid. And then she'll slide right back out.
You know, she comes in our lives all the time and we are always nothing but respectful and positive. And hey, Maggie, how are you doing? And I'm not saying, listen, I can't speak for everyone. I can speak for me. But, you know, she always comes in our lives. We're never rude. We don't mute her. We don't block her. She just kind of hangs out and that's her prerogative. She can hang out all she wants. We don't care. But it's
There's a question that keeps reoccurring in the chat. If I could ask you, I'm going to read it from Lonely Days, but a few people have had it. What's going to happen with Maggie if she loses, I guess they're saying everything, meaning her benefits, because of the money that she gets when she goes online and asks for money?
See, that's the thing. Like I said, Maggie's stuff is being reported. They don't know that. They listening to other people and they don't know anything. But it's just like one person here, then it go down the line, the next person here, so they think this, and this. Nobody really knows anybody's personal day-to-day life.
Sure.
We just all on here. Maggie has people on the back end that helps her with her paperwork. Maggie can't do all her paperwork by herself.
We know that, but this is the
Understandable.
thing. There are some things that are personal that have nuance, and then there are some things that are just rules that are common knowledge. And when you are on SSI, unless you are getting money for clothes or food, it must be reported. And the way the rule for SSI works is like somebody said, they take 50 cents on the dollar. And how do we know that this is how it works? Is because Kim Peters, I don't know if you remember her or if you ever even heard of her,
No.
but she did the same thing. And what ended up happening was that they actually went back to when she started getting the money and they increased her rent based on that, then reduced the amount of money she got every month. And even though she had someone help her with her rent for like 6 or 8 months, when that went away, she didn't have enough money to afford where she was. And she got, I can't remember how, she ended up losing the apartment because she couldn't afford to pay for it by herself. And so I think that's where what you say about not knowing her personal business, you're correct. I don't know. I don't know how much money she's gotten. I don't know whether she's reporting all of it, some of it. I don't know, but I know the rules around Social Security. And so it doesn't matter her personal business. That's just the rules of Social Security. So when I start,
But let me know, because I don't think y'all know. Maggie doesn't even handle her own money. Maggie doesn't even pay her own bills. So like I said, there is people that's doing this for
but that
her.
doesn't matter.
But the question is, as Digital was saying, and I don't mean to interrupt, people on the app that beg for money and whether they're begging, scamming, whatever their title is, but Maggie begs, they don't consider the money that they're getting as an income, but the IRS defines it as an income.
And so let me explain this. Whether somebody else is using their Cash App to pay her bill, whether somebody else is collecting the money and then giving it to her in one lump sum, they want to know how all of these things are getting covered. So when her internet bill gets covered, when her cell phone bill gets covered, whether somebody else pays for it or not, Social Security and the IRS consider that income. She can call it gifts on TikTok all she would like. When you have SSI, it's considered income. And I believe she can get $25 a month. And then everything over that is considered income. So again, I'm not even saying that Maggie knows or understands that. But for those of us who intimately understand how the system works, it looks like, and that's what I have been saying for a long time. I said, if she lose all her benefits because y'all are giving her $10 and $20 and it's 10 of y'all doing it. If she loses all of her benefits, are y'all going to pay her rent? Because that's going to go back to market rate. She's not going to get a discount. Are you going to pay her food and all of that? And I think people were giving her money because it was to spite the conversations happening about her. But I'm not having that conversation to make her nervous, whatever. I'm trying to educate so that people understand that you may be putting her at risk. It doesn't matter who pays it. If it's in her name and it was supposed to get paid by her, they're going to look at where the money came from.
But the people on Social Security, you don't know that they have or disability, they have certain cards, right, that you can get, because Maggie don't have a bank account, so her stuff is being paid through that way. Sometimes she'll wait to pay the cable bill or something because she want to do something else, but it gets paid. It's showing that it's getting paid. Like she will be able to have light bill statements, all that stuff is showing that her bills are getting paid. But their
question is, where's the money coming from to pay it? It's not that it's getting paid. It's who's paying for it and where the money is coming from.
It's coming from her check.
But at some point, Social Security is going to say, you know what?
Rent, lights. When Maggie say rents, light, cell phone is already paid, the check is already gone. Maggie didn't already paid it out her money.
But you know what she also does? She gets on live and she says, I need my electric bill paid. I need my internet bill paid. And as we know, based on what recently happened, they watch social media.
And eventually, if she does get caught, she'll have to pay all that overage back. Correct. And that could mean losing her entire check. And no one wants to see that happen.
I didn't want to cover Maggie for a long time because I recognized her disability. And then I watched her. She was mean and nasty to people who had helped her, that if they didn't give her that money that day, she blocked them. I've watched Maggie get on a plane, go all the way to Las Vegas, and sit in the lobby until people paid. I watched Maggie go to a restaurant where she knew she didn't have the money and demand to get the money to get her food. She can have all the disability she would like, but Maggie knows the difference between being nice and being mean. Because when someone's giving her money, she has no problem being nice. And I only started covering her when I saw that. But my whole point in covering her was about the risk she was taking. And the government, just because the government doesn't do it in a week or a month or a year or two, doesn't mean they won't come back and do it at some point. And so my whole point was to try to educate about her. I've never talked about her looks. I've never talked about the way she sounds. I don't talk about that things about people.
Right.
But because so many other people were covering her every move, I stopped.
Right. And they
so for
don't
me to
know
end
that.
up on a list was like, damn, well, okay.
Right. But they don't know they, like, on the back end, by them covering her, by them calling her names, by her getting all these nasty DMs. Maggie shows me every nasty DM she gets. And Maggie goes to a psychiatrist. Y'all don't know that affects her
Of course it
when
does.
they do these things to her. That's why I'm just so standing with her, because I see these nasty things that they say.
But you want to know what? Call out the people who are doing it, because what y'all say is awareness is bad. And so everybody gets hit with that label when not all of us are doing it.
Now, and I have always said that. I said there are some good awareness people. I never said that, and I always said on the platform that there are some good ones, but there are some bad ones that call her the R word, the B word.
Well, that's never acceptable. That's never acceptable.
All of that stuff in the live, and she sees that. That weighs on her. Maggie knows she got a mental problem. But as we are grown adults to be acting like that, we should know better. Now,
I have a mental
the
problem.
same thing. They call me a bully. I be trolling them. I really do be trolling them, but I don't have no problem with none of them. I be trolling them because they come for me, so I just do it right back.
Can I be honest with you? Not easily broken. One of the things why people have a problem with you being in J. Paul's live and giving her money is because, and I'm going to only speak for myself personally, I feel like you do it because you watch who we cover, and then you do it because you think it's going to piss us off. That you actually haven't spent the 10 minutes to do any research on the person, because I've seen you in other, what I call a SBLM, a scammer, beggar, liar, manipulator. I've seen you in many of those lives supporting
Yeah,
them.
I do. I do be in it, but it's not because I do it to pee y'all off. I did it because she popped up on my screen one day. I haven't even seen that woman come on my.
But it's not just her
page.
though. I've seen you in many lives. You might not have given them money, but
Beggars
you have.
lives?
Huh?
Beggars lives?
Yes.
Oh, and I done gave them probably a hand heart or something like that.
Because that's not the point. That's not the point. You are there because I feel like, let me change that. I feel like you are there to fight us.
Right.
To say, this is who you're covering, and I don't agree with y'all because of what y'all done to Maggie. And so I'm going to be here, and I'm going to be in support of them to be against you when you haven't had the 5 minutes to understand if that person is a scammer or not. You also have to understand this. A lot of times, scammers dox themselves. They'll dox their location. They'll dox their name. You want to know how half the time we get names? Is because their real name is on a Cash App.
Right.
It's not that we went and researched them. They send people to their CA or their PP, and it's their full government name.
Right.
Or they'll say where they are.
Everyone has a right to be
where Cake lives. You can't pay on a daily basis. You can only pay on a weekly basis. But she says we're lying. People who live in Detroit, wherever she is, know exactly where she is.
Well,
And
we
we
know Cake
know,
Line. I mean, I called her out because nobody has ever seen that woman in a hotel at all. She's always outside.
or pay it, because that's what I always say. She
So,
says she needs the money today. She gets the money and then she leaves, and the next time you see her, she might be in the room, or you don't see her until the next night. And see, that's the point. You may disagree with the coverage of Maggie, but that doesn't translate to everybody. Jordan Paul has been doing this for over 5 years. There are those of us that remember when she claimed she had a job, but she needed money. She needed $50 to feed her dogs every couple of weeks, and then her showing off, we got to see that she was buying them dog food from the dollar store, and then tried to say we were lying. You showed it in your live, but you were getting $50 every few days to feed your dogs. That's a liar. When she said that she had a court case because her landlord brought somebody to her house and beat her up and stole her money, and that's why she needed money from people, of course we found out eventually that it wasn't that. She was being evicted. There was no case. So she got money from people because they thought, and she even said that they stole her late, like it was a iPhone 15. How you afford that? She never had the job, or if she had it, she got fired right away. But she continued to tell people she needed money. So I can't speak for anybody else. But I know when somebody ends up on my grid, it's not because someone else told me that they were a scammer. It's not because other people were covering them. It's because I've watched for myself and I've caught the lie myself. But even you admit, I haven't said 2 words about Maggie. If I end up, you'll realize when you scroll, you end up in lives. I'll end up in her live just scrolling. And as soon as I come in, I get yelled at. Why are you here? I haven't said that woman's name in I don't know how long. But when you put that thing together, I was the first one on there. So how am I supposed to feel?
right. But, and let's go back to you saying this is what you think about why I give the beggars money because you're thinking I'm doing it to piss y'all off. That's what you just said. This is what you think, but that's not what
I
I
also
think.
said I think you do it to spite us.
Right. And
But go ahead.
that's not what I do. I just go in there because I have always had, I don't care what, I mean, to be honest, I really don't care if the people lying or they not. I mean, sometimes I don't. I have a big heart. So just giving them a hand heart, a dollar or something or whatever, because we don't know when we all go fall on hard times. And I feel like if you sit up there and you bless people, it'll come back to you. So it's not that I'm going in there and doing it to spite y'all or whatever. No, it's not. I go in a lot of people's lives.
But
A lot of people that I don't even know.
Right, but listen, can you
That don't
consider
have
this?
nothing to do with awareness.
But
That be
broken.
asking for money.
Can you
So
consider
it's
this?
like,
Can you consider this? I just want you to consider this. When you go in and you offer them anything, it encourages other people to give
Right,
because they
exactly.
see you and they think, well, she's a stand-up woman. We've seen her other places. Or if she thinks they're good, then maybe I should think they're good. It encourages other people to give. I realize that it may be coming from the kindness of your heart, but I just need you to understand, or to just think about. Now, it's your money. This is what I always say.
Right.
It's your money. You can do whatever you want with it.
Right.
But it's not going to stop me from covering the person. And I just need to address something. Axel Rose mom, I did a live on Friday it was, and I explained my hypervigilance when it comes to race. And so I would suggest that you go watch it because it explains exactly how and why. I'm not a race baiter. I don't look for things that I don't look to see if people are racist. In fact, I don't even call people
Right.
racist. It doesn't mean that there aren't racist things that happen.
Right.
So go watch that because when you're a black person and you see things, it's automatic. It's automatic. It's not like, and again, if I see something that is racist or that has racist overtones, and I'm in a community where I want us to be better, and I say something about it, that's the point. That's the point. I want us to be better. I don't want people to be able to say that what we do in this community is racist. And I explained when a black person's face or head or whatever is attached to an animal, that's a trope that goes all the way back to when they said that we were subhuman, that we were less than a human and had no legal rights, and we were considered like furniture and cattle. That's where that goes back to. So when those of us who are enlightened and understand that, when we see it, I'm not calling the person racist. I'm saying that that trope is racist. And it goes back to when we weren't considered legal human beings. We were considered 3/4 a human being and therefore had no legal rights to ourselves. But if you don't know that, you'll think I'm pulling the race card.
Right.
Easily broken. Is that or is that not true?
That's true. And furniture, I mean, basically they did use it as furniture. They took our
Correct.
hair and everything and used it to stuff couches, make couches, stuff like that, different things. They even called me racist, and I'm like, well, how am I gonna be racist? And I got a niece and a nephew that's mixed, and my favorite brother-in-law is white. I wasn't raised to be racist to nobody. I mean, my
Neither
mom
was
would whip
I.
my tail, but they call me that because I love history.
My question is this: George Washington's teeth were his slaves' teeth. How did
Right.
they get their slave? How did they get his slaves' teeth? Do you know they used our skin to make furniture, to make
Right.
clothes, like you do an alligator skin? They were doing that to us. They were eating us.
Right.
They were taking babies, skinning them, and eating them. But if you don't know your history, then you hear me say something and you think, oh, well, that's the race card being pulled.
Right. And that's what I'm just
Okay,
gonna say all for
let's
one
move
used to
this
say that.
along. Let's move it along. I appreciate that. I appreciate your point of view. I appreciate the education. I appreciate you, Not Easily Broken, for taking the time to
Yes,
come here
ma'am.
and ask questions. The mods are
Yes,
saying
ma'am.
there's other people that want to talk about other
Okay,
things.
I'll jump
So
down.
if
Okay,
there
that's
are,
fine.
okay. I'm not trying to cut you off. I'm just saying if there's other people. And thank you
Right.
both for attending. Does anybody have anything else that they want to? I don't know how to help Not Easily Broken jump down. Somebody else gonna have to do it. Y'all know I don't know
I know how
technology.
to do it. I know how to do it.
Are there any other? Thank you for coming. Thank you for being, kind enough to answer a lot of questions. I mean, I don't think anything bad can come in from hearing somebody talk, about from their perspective. Does anybody else have anything that they want to talk about? I mean, as far as what's been talked about or what hasn't been talked about. I saw there were some comments in here about other topics. I think that Dee Dee addressed the race issue and her perspective on why she speaks the way she does about it. I mean, I certainly can't understand the perspective of being a black woman because I'm not a black woman. So I think it's always good to hear from somebody. I don't know who Spread Love is. I have a question. Do you know who I do not know who Casting Shade is. I don't know who the person is. They say there are 3 people. Somebody else told me that, and I don't know this to be true, that Casting Shade said that there are 2 women and a man. I know that they have said they're in their 60s. that they used to be a teacher and a council woman, I would assume. But other than that, I know as much as y'all know. I don't know who it is. Somebody that did awareness 7-10 years ago, but didn't do it for long. I don't know who it is. I was responding to comment. No one stopped in the comments, but I had to stop. Only because I was being told that there were other people that wanted to talk about other things. I didn't mean to cut you off from a race discussion. I have no problem with a race. I don't have any problem discussing anything. You weren't cut off because it was racial. There were other people that supposedly wanted to come in and say something, but now it's gotten quiet. You're more than... If nobody else wants to ask any other questions and y'all want to go back to discussing that, I'm fine with that. I just didn't want people that wanted to ask a question to not have the chance to do so. So, okay. As far as the cartoons I made about Maggie, I've already said they were terrible. They were abhorrent. It's one of my biggest regrets, if not the biggest, being on TikTok. I know you addressed in one of your lives, Digital, that I had Maggie as a bull. I had Maggie as an ox because she was talking about oxtails. I did not know that that would be offensive. I also had Maggie as a house. So I apologize. I am not a racist. I would not do that if I had known that. I did not know that. I know that now. I will never make that mistake again. But that was not intended to be dehumanizing Maggie. That was yes, I know it comes from a cow, but it had to do with her obsession with eating the oxtails. I certainly made a mistake in that. I was unaware. I knew only that animalizing a person of color with a particular animal was offensive. I didn't know that it was offensive to do it with any animal. And now that I know better, I will do better. That's all I can promise to do. I didn't know. The whole page was horrible. So, I mean, that's why the page is gone. That's why I went to her account and apologized. And believe me, I expected Maggie to hand me my ass when I went in there. And I have to say that she didn't. Not Easily Broken didn't. Serena, or Venus, not Serena, Serena, not Venus. They were very nice. In fact, some of them even said that awareness is a good thing. So, I think that people don't have to dislike each other to have a difference of opinion. So, thank you for acknowledging that. I apologize for that. It was still a horrible page. That page is gone. I saw it as funny at the time. It wasn't. And I think there were some other questions. I don't know if Darla's still in here. Somebody wanted to ask, what was it that somebody was saying in there? Making bullying good again or something. How the people, hi Darla, they wanted, if you want to take a box again, I guess they were asking that, or has Dre said something like make bullying acceptable again or something like that? They wanted to know your feelings on that. I mean, you didn't say it, so I don't know if you want to reply to that or not, or if you just want to leave it.
Give me 1 second. I was drinking water.
Good to hydrate.
Okay, so the saying that they say is make shame. It's not make bullying great again. It's make shame great again. Meaning, and it's not right or wrong. It's the choice of words they use because, believe it or not,
I can't hear.
Nobody does everything right. And we're actively working daily to improve because, and if you've been coming around lately, you might notice that, right? But shame great again. And because they say, like some people like JP, or I can't even think of them off my head, people have no shame anymore. It's kind of like no self-respect. So instead of saying that, they say no shame because people just come in and say, they come in and they beg and people just don't have any shame. And so That's what he says, right? And as Ashley says, and they say it all. He actually has it typed out on the screen on a sticker. Make shame great again. He doesn't hide it. That's what we say all the time. We are against bullying, doxing, and all that stuff. And if you notice, the pictures are gone on our part. Like, I never put them up, but they're not even on our page anymore because we weren't all comfortable with it, and better you do better.
So I hope that answers it. Thank you for coming up and saying that. She's saying,
you know, things change. That's part of,
you know, she's
your life. You admit when you done. Yeah.
Like an adult, we're
What
trying.
you can do.
We're trying to adulting. I think that's the new phrase or whatever.
Right. We're adulting. Yeah. So that's it. I mean, it's, you know, and we're not everybody's cup of tea. And sometimes people over talk, and, you know, we are actively working towards anything that, you know, cause I'm one that, you know, I've raised kids and have grandkids, and I'm not that kind of person. So, you know, we all come at life with our own experiences and we propel it forward. So for anything that people have taken offense to, I apologize. Even if I didn't do it, I still apologize because we're there. But things are changing, and that's all I can say.
Any of us, right, is to try to do better and to try to learn from each other, even from
Absolutely.
people opposite, right? So
Absolutely. And that doesn't mean that it's going to be perfect every day. I can't control everybody, you know, what comes out of, you know, whoever, you know, sometimes you let somebody up on your panel and things go crazy and you don't know what's going to be said, you know, so we're even taking heed with that.
You know, and I think, you know, in all honesty, I think some of, probably, I mean, I'm not going to give it a percentage. I would say almost every human being has said something at some time that they've typed out that has been unkind for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a bad day. Maybe they're not feeling good. Maybe somebody just irritated the crap out of them. But I know that at least that almost every single person on TikTok has at one time or another said something that could be flashed that we would not be proud of.
Right.
Define us at all, nor should it. I believe
Yeah.
in second, third, fourth, fifth chances. So people have been nice enough in my life to give it to me. I mean,
Absolutely.
in real life, you know.
But, you know, I mean, with that comes, with change comes accountability. You know, you have to be accountable for what you're doing wrong. If I do something wrong, I'm going to own it. You're accountable for it. And then you move forward. And the only way to not keep having people trash your name or whatever is to keep moving forward and doing positive. You can't go back to the same behavior and then expect people not to hold you to it. And that's whatever that means to anybody in their life. You know, it's not just about TikTok. Be the best you, and realize people are watching you. And
I think that's a tit for tat. I mean, I did it. I'm going to admit it. I did it.
yeah,
And
listen, I have said things that I am not proud of, like when I first was new to awareness. And I have to say, like, fuck it, believe it or not, because I know a lot of people have issues. He has, like, tamed me down where I'm like, oh, because things in your normal life that you don't mean anything harmful by could be taken in a less than good way. So I had to become more aware of actually what comes out of my mouth, you know, and for that, I'm a better person. You know, I did. I say that I grew up in the 80s, and, you know, we had the raunchy stand-up comedians. My dad was a truck driver. So I come from that, right? So to me, to just spout something out that other people, you know, it didn't faze me that something that came out of my mouth could be offensive. So, you know, I had to put myself back in like a business setting. I wouldn't do this when I was in the business world, right?
a good way to do it. You know, I mean, in a lot of respects, the people that have come from the business world, they understand that, right? You just can't say, like, you know, how many times have you sat in a meeting and wanted to say something and you were like, no, I can't do that.
Can't do that. Let's bite our tongue and just pretend. Let's take another sip of our coffee or tea and, you know, not do that. But yeah, so that's it. If you know, I'll be in the chat if anybody has any more questions, but thank you for calling me up so I could clear that up.
I would encourage you too. I think you can see that, you know, I've never talked with Darlene Darla before. She seems like a nice, easy to talk to lady. If you have that question, message her. It seems like we've stopped doing that. We want to do it all on the front side. she seems like a perfectly normal person that would answer you, like she just answered me, you know?
Yeah, I do. My DMs are open. Go ahead. I mean, even if my account's private, I don't know which one is. If it is, I'll accept it anyway. But yeah, we're always here. Thank you, Stacey. We always say that in our lives. You know, our DMs are open. You know, if you need to talk about something, and we get them daily from people. You know, some people say, "Oh, I didn't like that." Some people will say, you know, keep doing what you're doing. We appreciate you, you know, so it comes from all walks. Or people say, do you know resources for this or that? And if we can help somebody, isn't that what we're here for? You know?
I think people find the people that they like and they won't sit with the ones they don't like. And everybody is in America, at least, you know, I know there's people all over the world that are on TikTok, but you have the right to go sit with who you want to sit. Who I want to watch or agree with doesn't mean that it's going to be who other people do. I don't.
That's the truth.
Another one of these lives. I'm really glad that people came. I'm particularly glad that, you know, even somebody that's a mod for somebody that gets streamed a lot came and spoke. I thought y'all had really good dialogues and discussion. I appreciated what Digital had to say. I learned a little more. Learning is always good. I will try to do better. I've tried to stay out of the shit for the most part. Every now and then I can't help myself, and I get myself in trouble every time I do it.
I have to say, I've never been in one of your lives. I didn't even follow you until today. And honestly, I always heard, like, stay away from awareness. Like, I didn't know anything good or bad about you. It was just, you know, but there's the lore about you, but I don't know. You seem like a perfectly decent person yourself, and I don't know anything about you. But, you know, I was invited in the live, so here I am.
You know, people were saying, and really it came about because people were messaging me about the, you know, the mouse. And I, you know, some are being covered, they're saying some aren't. And I'm like, look, if y'all want to come and show proof that you think something should have been covered that wasn't, I invited the mouse. The mouse told me they'd be at Disney today. So,
Good. Maybe they're having fun. It's cool.
Living their real life. You know, would I even, you know, at my peak of the call out, I wouldn't do what the mouse has done, but it's their page and they can run it their way. And I think they're probably going to learn that it's not a good headspace to be in, that it's very disruptive, you know, to your peace and tranquility. Because all that is a bunch of, you know, people trying to get you to go against one side and one side coming trying to get you to post against another. And it's just, it's not a pleasant place to be. So
see, I live my life this way and I do TikTok this way. I don't judge people by what other people say, first of all, ever. You know, I'm going to get to know the situation or person for myself. I'm going to judge accordingly. I do try to live by, but I do believe in second and third chances. But sometimes you have to know when to cut the cord. But I do believe when people show you who they are, believe them the first time, because it's usually a clear indicator. Unless you see some major change, people are the way they are, you know, and people can change. And I love to be part of that change. And I have been part of that change in my own community with people, right? And people have helped me change in other ways in my life. So I believe in paying it forward and all that good stuff. But there are times you have to just shut down and say, okay, enough of that. I can't, you know, because you can't help everyone. You can't help people who don't want to be helped in whatever regard that is, you know?
We were little, that not everybody's going to like everybody. And sometimes you just
Right.
have that you're, you know, you're not, well, you're not everybody's cup of tea. I'm not everybody.
Not everybody's cup of tea, and I don't want everybody drinking my tea. How about that? I like my own tea. I like. I'm not against having tea with some people, you know, but I don't, you know, I'm just not everybody's cup of tea and not everybody's mine. So you learn your lane in life but isn't that the truth in your real life? Like away from TikTok, let's say we're all in our regular world, right? I say you go through seasons in your life where you pick the weeds, right? There are just times where you need to pick the weeds and keep it moving. Keep your circle small and true. That's what you got to do. I learned that a long time ago.
Thank you, Darla. Does anybody else want a box to talk about anything, or do they want to type something that they want me to read out loud because they don't want their voice heard? If not, we're going to conclude this. I want to thank everybody for coming. I really do not anticipate ever having another one of these. You know, I think people like I said, they got to ask some questions. Otto has said that he's going to try to find some time to carve out to make some resources and do some work with the topic of addiction. I think Sunshine is going to try to help with that. That is something that's very near to my heart because of the loss of my brother. That and animals. So I want to thank everybody for coming. I don't think I'll do this again, but if anybody else has anything they want to say, we can go there. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Harley Rider Girl. I've never done one before. I did the best I could do. Thank you, Karma. I'm sure that they'd like help with that. Maggie. Oh, Maggie, you weren't the topic. Not Easily Broken was in here, and she took a box. And I had said that I didn't put you in the category with the others that asked for money because the money that you ask for, you actually use for what you say that you're going to use it for. And she was answering some questions. Everybody was respectful. You were just a part of it. You were not the whole live. It was just that it seemed to go in that direction. Your mod showed up and answered some questions, I think, for people. I think if you get with her, you'll find out that, you know, it was a good discussion. You weren't gossiped about or anything like that. I just said that I thought you fell in a different category. And I, again, repeated that I was sorry that I had made the page. So, that'll be it, guys. I think I know how to stop all this. I think it was positive. Honestly, I think Not Easily Broken and Digital had a really good discussion, and so did you and Darla, and so did Karma. I mean, you know, it's not often, I think, that you get a chance to talk calmly to the other sort of perspective, so I think that was really good. Thank you for coming. I'm going to try to find a cool beverage. I may venture outside. It looks nice out there, but I know it's really muggy too. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Spicy, for being the mod. I know you were called away in the middle and it kind of got a little rambunctious. I don't really know what I'm doing. I think that's apparent. So, Puppy Power, if that's a dig, don't do that, please. We had a nice discussion. Maggie, I'm just gonna offer this. Maggie, if you want a box, if you'll be respectful, other people may want to ask you a question. And Spicy is here now. She's my mod. She will make sure that people are respectful. So if you would like a box to speak, you are more than welcome to ask your questions too, because I did tell everyone that they could come, and I do mean that. Maggie, do you want a box? I don't think she does, and that's fine too. That's fine too. So we're going to go ahead and end it. Thanks for coming, and I hope, you know, I hope we don't have to do another one. Here's Not Easily Broken. It's fine. She explained herself. Okay, good. Okay, all right, y'all. Have a good rest of your Sunday. Thank you.